Firstly, I will tell you about innovation, and why is it required now today in this business environment, if you want to be an entrepreneur. So how many of you, seriously want to be an entrepreneur? Yeah. Yes. So if you, okay, so many guys are there. So now I give you a choice, We also have connects with companies, so you get a job offer. 9 lakh, 10 lakh CTC in the first year itself. And you have the business idea. So, out of those who just raise hands, who want to be an entrepreneur, if you get this offer, would you join it? Would you take that offer? How many of you would take that offer? Raise your hand. Not 10 lakhs, not for 10 lakhs. What about 15 lakhs? 15 lakhs you will take it, right? Okay. So you give me your name. There is a company, there are companies are there in our contact, So actually yesterday itself, my colleague in my office, he was asking, there is a requirement of 20 diploma or engineers, BE, BTech, ECE engineers by a company, and package is not much, 25,000 per month they will be paying, but it's a PCB manufacturing company, and they specifically are looking for triple E engineers or electrical or electronics engineers. So you guys are from, I think, no, CSC, yes, okay. So that is fine. At the initial stage, the company, don't, want this from one particular branch. They are flexible. So they are flexible with the trade, because eventually it's just the basic what you learn over there. And the company is doing some dedicated work, so they have their own training. So they will train you on the job, and then you will get the master of that. You will become the master of that, what the company is doing. And one of my friend, I went to his company for inspection, and then we spoke and we became friends. So he was also working in a company earlier in Mallapur. So that company is, I think, Unical. Unical is the name, and it is printing this. If you have traveled in a bus, the conductors are printing these tickets on this portable printing machines, So that company is the manufacturer of that, and it has supplied to the RTC buses over there in other states. So it is manufacturing. So my friend was working over there for 10 years in the R&D team over there in that company. So the primary product of that company is this, and they are into other things also, into solar panels and other things also. So after working over in this company for 10 years, he started his own company, and then now he's giving competition to his parent company. So that is the thing. So he was working over there, but now he's an entrepreneur, and he's doing turnover of about last time I checked with him 25 crore for the past 3 years he has done, including the COVID period where he didn't get much business. So he took that job, because of the financial requirement. Because he's not from a well-to-do family. That time, he was not having that much financial stability. So, but later on, his entrepreneurial zeal out of him, when he realized that the company where he's working at, is not giving him the wings which he wants to, flap out and fly, So then he started his own venture. So the point is, if you get a job offer, and See, job offer is not only about money, you'll get a pay, but you will get to learn. What happens, entrepreneurship is a journey. You start, and you learn, keep on learning. And what happens, when you learn, it goes in the back of your mind. And then when you are taking the next step, whether that step is going to be successful or not, based on your learning experiences. When a child grows, a baby grows, it falls, it frequently falls, it hits like it head against wall, floor, everything, and it will fall out of the bed, so it will fall down, Once or twice it falls down, it learns that this is a fall, if I cross this line, I will fall down, and it is going to hurt me. Then it will not, When you keep it over there, once it's like a burnt child dreads fire, Once he is burnt, he will understand what is fire. So entrepreneurship is a similar thing. When you learn, then that the decision which you have to take, whether you are going to fall or not. So it is very important to have experiences. But when you join a company, over there, you will there will be a predefined set of rules. So you don't need to fall, You will learn from the company how the organizational structure is, everything, So you will save time in that. So it is better to start with a job if you are getting a good job where you get to learn. It's not about the salary they are paying. It's about if you start working in a small company, you will be hired for engineering purpose, or maybe a QA QC guy, or a developer or something. But what happens, eventually they will put additional responsibilities on you. You also have to bring orders. You will have to make purchase orders. Logistics you may have to handle. Sometimes they will give you operations also, because it's a small company, specifically in case of starting. So you get to learn how the company is working, how the company is growing. So you get that experience. But when you start with entrepreneurship, you have to do everything yourself. You have to invest everything, and you have to wander in the dark. So that is a plus point when you start working in a company where you get to learn the entire organizational structure. So I'll proceed with my slide. So this is nothing. This is the history of our current business scenario. How it developed. So industrialization in Europe. So mostly in UK, in London, all industries were growing over there in the 18th century, and then North America, USA, during the World War periods, it became a major economic superpower, primarily because of the arms ammunition manufacturing companies in US. So it was supplying arms for the World War, so it became a major economic power. And a lot of companies sprung up in US due to that, and what happened, this Japan, after the bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, all of a sudden from somewhere, Japan came into manufacturing. Now what they did is, Japanese company, before then, before the Japanese companies entered into the global business scenario, it was believed that if you want a good quality product, you have to pay a higher price for it. If you want good quality, you will need to pay higher price. But what Japanese company did, they said, in fact, if you increase the quality, you will reduce the price. They came up with lean principles. And most of these lean principles, they have Japanese name, like Tokaido, Kanban. These are lean techniques. Basic lean technique is 5S. 5S principles? 5S. 5S. So I will give you example. There are 5S principles. You have not heard about it? You have heard? Can you tell? Anyone? 5S principles? You can Google and tell. You should Google and tell. Because you are the new generation. Any question is posed to you, you have answer. If you don't have answer, then This is not an interview. You know, I'm not asking you an interview that you cannot. So, who is going to tell me first this? Short. Okay.
Second order.
Yes, second order.
Shine.
Shine.
Sunrise.
Sustain. Okay. Sort. So what is the meaning of sort? Okay. Got it. So that is sort. You understand what she is saying? If there are like different mix of things, you know, you have to sort it well. What is the advantage of sorting it well? Okay. So that is the thing. So actually, why are these called lean principles? Lean means slim, reducing wastages. So what happens when you basic 5S you implement not only in business, in your life at your home? What happens? I'll give you an example of 5S. You guys have two-wheeler, four-wheeler. Yes. Which bike you are having? FC. Which scooty you are having? Bajaj Pulsar. Why? Okay. So when you go out of your home, the keys are there. You have a place, right, where you keep the keys, or you don't have a place. You just randomly keep it somewhere. You have a place, right? Key box will be there, something, you know. But what if you keep it randomly somewhere? You come back home, you know, from college. If you are, or maybe you are staying in hostel, you know, you come back to your hostel and you keep the keys randomly. Next morning, when you go out and you are in a rush, you will have to search where you kept it. You may waste, you know, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and you will be late. Already you are late, you know, and you will be further late if it's not in the right order. So that is why if you have a dedicated place, you will save time. Immediately, you know, that is the key box, you know, you have kept it over there. Immediately you will think you will save time. Every day you will save time, you know. The time otherwise you would have wasted in unnecessarily waste and searching keys. It's only a simple thing, you know. Evening when you come home, just keep your key at one dedicated place. Every day you will save 5 to 15 minutes, you know, which you spend wasting in searching. So that is the 5S principle. This is one principle. You know, so this is common sense. But this is actually, you know, efficient. If you apply this, you will save time. It applies to manufacturing also. And then there is another important principle, Kanban. Kanban means, you know, it's a Japanese word. It means, you know, small incremental changes, small changes. You want to make a big impact, you know. Normally people have tendency to make a big impact. You need to come up with something big. You need to do something big. You know, you are doing something and you are not satisfied with your life. Then you say, no, I'll take this drastic step. You know, I leave home or I take this drastic step, you know, in order to bring a change in my life. But it's not always true, you know, you don't need to do that. For example, you know, how many of you, what is the time you rise? You wake up from at 6, 7:30. 5:30, you wake up, good, very good, 5:40. 5 also. Is there somebody who does
तो कोई बोला है हम लोग इवेंट में हैं
So I'll tell you one thing. What about the weekend on Saturday, Sunday? What time you wake up? 11, 12.
मुझे पता ही नहीं था ना हम लोग को 3
See,
से
those who wake up 6 o'clock every day, you know, no matter if they want to become an entrepreneur or they want to join a company, they will be successful and happy in their life.
यहाँ पे जितने भी
Those who
स्टूडेंट्स
see morning sun and the evening sun,
जो स्टूडेंट्स इवेंट
you know, make it a habit in your life that you see the morning sun. Not only wake up at 6, you know, go outside, see the sunrise and see the sunrise.
ठीक है
Because if you see that, you know, your biological
तो
clock
करना चाहिए ना
will always be tuned with the nature. And when you work with the nature, you know, in general, it is applicable for the business. Any
और
business,
चले जाएंगे
if it is pro-nature, it will sustain over a longer period of time. If it is anti-nature, that business is going to shut down sooner or later. It will only last for a short time. You see plastics. It is against nature. Sooner or later it will go extinct. Plastics, a small period of time they have come. And immediately and sooner it will go out. And also all the chemicals, with input processing, synthetic foods, there is a separate industry who makes this synthetic food, synthetic preservative. They will go out of business soon. So, but if you are doing something pro nature, it will sustain longer period. What happens in business, very important. The longer you sustain, you know, initially 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, your business will not be of that value. To take example of a tea shop, it will be at one corner of Hyderabad. He's doing a small business, maybe he's having daily income of 5,000 rupees, 10,000 to keep him and his family alive and do well. So 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, he will be a small tea vendor. But after a while, after 30 years, 50 years, he will become a brand. And then every 1 year he continues, the brand will grow exponentially. That is how the business becomes brand. If you are able to sustain, for a longer period of time, your brand value increases. So that is important. So anything you bring into your life, you don't need to have a drastic change in one day. Small changes, small changes. For example, somebody is waking up at 11 o'clock, he wants to get up early. So just go to bed, 10 minutes early. Every day, if your routine is you are going to bed at 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock, just 20 minutes early you go to bed. Make it a habit, Wind up 20 minutes. If you are watching that series or something, during the night, don't watch it, or maybe you just need to watch one episode, Don't binge watch all day. So that is it. So there is also a famous story, this Chinese automotive manufacturer, spare parts manufacturer, it was supplying to one company this lot of 1,000 pieces of spare parts. So the Ford company, if I'm not incorrect, so they ordered from this Japanese company, not Chinese, Japanese company, and then say we will accept 3 defects per 1,000 pieces. 3 defects per 1,000 pieces, not more. First time the order had gone to this Japanese company, the big company, then big company Ford. So it came back and it said, "Sir, these are your 1,000 pieces. We have delivered it on time, as you mentioned. And this is a separate box, 3 defective pieces, as you mentioned. Because they didn't have any defective pieces, their manufacturing was of that quality. 3 additional defective pieces. So although it was a tolerance, you can have 1,997 correct precise pieces they wanted and 3 defective, but so that is the quality principles of Japan. So the Six Sigma lean manufacturing, these things are very important for engineers. So not only for as an employee, if you are working on in the engineering workshop, maybe you are from CSE branch, it applies to software also. Everything it applies. Software will have less work, less time wasting. Once you become a team leader, then you need to apply this principle. So then came Chinese low cost manufacturing. All of you now know, your laptop, camera, everything, mobile phones, everything, made in China. They are made in China. The brands are not from China. Maybe what brand is that?
Asus.
Asus, which I think Taiwan?
i7.
I don't know which country is from. I think Korea or Taiwan, right? Asus. And mobile phone, which mobile phone you are having? Samsung. So Korean. Yeah. So see these all, but if you see made in which country? It's not in Korea. Would be in made in China. Now maybe made in India. After that campaign, Chinese company have shifted. So for the Indian market, they have shifted their manufacturing, not manufacturing, only assembly over there. So it's being assembled over there, still manufactured in China. So because what happens, the cost is very competitive. So these big brands, they cannot compete with the Chinese manufacturing companies. So something called as manufacturing licenses, legal agreement, they have made with these manufacturing companies, Chinese manufacturing companies, so that they can manufacture at an economical cost, and it can be distributed all over the world. Not only that, also to stop counterfeiting. You know counterfeiting. So it is an IP infringement, intellectual property. Brand is an intellectual property. So in legal terms, it is called as trademark. So what happens, when somebody's trademark is copied, as it is, then it is a counterfeit. So for example, Samsung, there will be duplicate Samsung mobile phones. So that is counterfeiting. So that counterfeiting happens mostly, it happens in China. The manufacturers are in culprits are in China. So it also stops that. When you give manufacturing licenses to these companies, then they will focus on manufacturing these brands. So this is the difference in it. Now what happened? The recent changes are a lot of startups, unicorns coming up. Disruption being created. So what is the basis of all these things? There were well-established companies already. They were holding the market, everything. They were controlling the market. What happened? These startups, they disrupted. Came out of nowhere. New generation, first generation entrepreneur. They came out. They came out with something called as innovation. So, what is addressed by innovation is the product life cycle, technology life cycle. During my days, when I buy a cell phone, it should last at least 5 to 10 years. 10 years, normally 10 years it should last. When I purchased my first cell phone, it lasted for around 6 years. So, and then it got stolen. Then I had to buy new one. But now, cell phone changes. People keep on buying. Every 2 years they will buy a new model. Maybe in your generation, maybe 1 year, a new model comes up. Samsung, iPhone, you will buy that. So, increasing expectation of the customers. The market, they want more features, and then high uncertainty. If you come up with a new feature, you don't know market is going to accept it or not. It will fail. So, or it will succeed. You don't know that. Anything happens. Government can put a ban. You start an industry, and then all of a sudden, government comes up with a notification that this product is banned. And COVID hit. So many industries shut down during COVID period. So these are highly uncertain times, and also there is a global impact. Everything is linked. What happened? When China was under lockdown, a lot of other industries elsewhere, they were not able to manufacture the goods, because the raw materials were coming from China. A lot of things were coming from China. They were dependent on that. So I ordered, for my office, we were given a budget of 10 lakhs to purchase computers, laptops, and everything was on hold. I had given this order, it happened 2 months passed, 3 months passed, the supplier is not able to deliver, and I asked what is the problem, So he said that a lot of it is coming from China, and that particular that area near Wuhan, and it's shut down. So once it is open, that will come. So there is a global impact. So something happens, in 2008, if you know how the share market crashed, the Lehman Brothers Bank collapsed, and it was a domino effect everywhere. So there's a global impact, So anything happens in one part of the world, be prepared. It's going to affect you also. Accordingly, adjust. So what happens? This innovation and creativity is the way now, and that is what that is how all these startups they have come up, and some of them have become unicorns. Most of them have failed, and they have then gone into new business. So, what is innovation? So it's a specific tool for entrepreneurs, the means by which they exploit change as an opportunity for a different business or a different service. So to exploit the change as an opportunity to enter into the market, which is captured, or maybe there is no market, but you create a market. So for certain products, can you give me an example of products, where you would have found, it was not having any market earlier? What is that? Sanitizer. Yes, sanitizers, the market was created based on out of necessity. It was already there, but that market didn't exist, that additional market. But because of COVID, the market was created. So it was an external factor. But sometimes, you have a product to introduce in the market and you create a market out of it. So that is also, examples of those products are also there. Simple example. Right, everybody, all of you are using, apps you are having on your cell phone. E-commerce, So e-commerce, there was market created out of it. Customers were, behavioral change was made, Normally people go to the grocery store, they buy, Now even grocery, everything, So many are there, Can you name few apps for grocery purchasing? Loafers.
Instamart.
Swiggy also, Instamart is there. Zepto is there now. Zepto is young guy, one of the founder is a young guy, pretty young guy, 21 years old, And he just touched Unicorn and then he club, So what else? Fresh to home is a meat. Now they have entered into
Vicious.
Yes, vicious. So these markets are created, So and you see how Ola displaced Meru. You guys heard about Meru? Meru was a dominant taxi player. Normally, if you travel to airport, I was doing a lot of travel to airport. I used to take a Meru cab. So it had a fleet of cabs, and you can book Meru cab easily, and then you can. So like yellow cabs. Yellow cabs, right? Yes, sky cabs. So now after this Ola and Uber, Uber actually it came in the US market first, So then Uber came over here. So Uber was the original model, So Ola copied that model. Now how Uber will protect their model? They came out with this online cab booking, and Uber doesn't need to own these taxis, everything, Individual drivers, owners of the cab, they can register themselves on Uber. So how Uber will protect its model, from competitors like Ola? How they will protect? This is where the IP regime comes into picture, intellectual property regime. So there are various acts to protect. So in US there is something called as utility patent, which is not there in India. So in that utility, it is actually called patent. In India, patent, but it is called patent. So utility patent is there, So a business model can be protected under that utility patent. So, but the same thing is not available over here under the patent law in India. So Uber cannot protect itself against competitors over here. Business model, it's not patentable, the Uber concept. So I'll tell you what are patentable if we go further. So I'll show you this. You have an idea, excellent, good. That is the starting point. But a lot of people have ideas. Everybody, have their own idea. They keep on coming with ideas because there are so many problems. Specifically, in a country like us, there will be so many problems, and you will keep on getting ideas. A solution for that. Thing is, implementation. So most of the people are filtered out, for implementation. You have a solution. I think you do a trial, whether the solution is correct or not. Get it evaluated, and you have to implement it. So implementation is required, which is the most. Once you are at the implementation step, you are already an entrepreneur. You are already an entrepreneur if you are at the implementation step. Yeah. So that is what we say. So he has an implementation of it. He went into it. He is an entrepreneur. Next thing is impact. How to create that impact out of that implementation. Then you need the market trials. So various things, on various bases, you need the market trials. You may have planned so many features in the product, it's not really required. You have to, maybe it's not really required by the market. Market wants, only some features. So they don't want to pay for everything, the additional features. So that match, you have to see price point. So, and market positioning. Who will be your customers? So you have to be focused over there. You guys send email IDs? Yes. How often do you check your emails? Daily? 2 days? Okay, so you check, So how many relevant emails you get? One or two relevant emails. Most of it is spam, right? So what happens to spam message? What you do? You open it, read it, what you do? Subscribe it, unsubscribe it, right? Or do you read the important one and select the unread ones and delete it at one go? So the thing is like, that is what happens. That spam marketing, everything is gone. Now it is focused marketing. How Google and these all big brands, how they are surviving, They take the data from your browsing data, everything, because Google is like the default browser on everyone's phone. Like whoever is using Android phone, everything, So people don't type URLs anymore. They just search, That it's by default Google search. So that data is captured, the activity is captured, everything you're interested. You're looking for an AC repair, washing machine repair, it will be captured. And next year, you are browsing your website or you are opening some app or some information, and that ad pops up. AC repair, 500 rupees in Hyderabad. This thing will come up because so this is only shown to you. If the same app opened by you, it will not be shown to you. So that focused marketing, not what they are doing. So there are higher chances, better chances, if you are looking for an AC repair technician and the ad is shown to you, you will click on it. Chances are good. Otherwise, it will be all select one unread and delete it. So that is waste of effort. To have an impact, you need a strategy, a proper strategy, and revise your product. You may have to revise the product, even though the product is fantastic, but it is fantastic for you. So you can only market it to those people who are similar to you, who will accept that product. You cannot market in general. But if you look for another you, very few people will be there. So you cannot have a business model out of it. That is why you need to generalize the product, so it can be accepted by a broader market. And you have a revenue out of it, a business model out of it. So that is required to create an impact. So myths versus reality, some important points. Innovation begins with creativity. You need to be very creative to have innovation. But it's a myth, because it begins with curiosity. The first step precursor is you should be curious about everything. If you have this all-know attitude, that okay, I know about this, you'll never be able to learn. You should always be, listening to the market, and the changes, You can see a product is there in the market, for a decade, 2 decades. I think this is a well-established market, you should not enter into it. But you closely listen to the consumer using it, you will find out, there are problems with that product, and customers are looking for a change, and you have an opportunity over there. So if you have a curious mindset, if you look into every aspect curiously, you will find opportunity. Smoothly, it's a linear process. You have an idea, you implement it, and you have to create an impact. It's a iterative process. At any one stage, you have to come back. You have to from impact. If it's not creating an impact, you have to revisit the implementation phase. Maybe you are not implementing it properly. You have to redesign the prototype. Maybe you have to revisit the idea phase. You have to modify your idea, or give up on that idea, and you have to come up with a new idea. Because now, at the market trials, you came out with new discovery, new factors, that there is something else is required. So all this research work which you have done in the market trials, you got some output. Even though your idea and prototype has failed, but you came out with a new this data. There is some other requirement. Then what you get, you come up with a new solution and new prototype as per that requirement, as per the new data. Then you are likely to be more successful. So it's a iterative and series of experiments are required. So innovation means you are taking a risk. Because what happens, why majority of big players, big brands, they don't innovate that much. They will not come up with a radical innovation in the market. I tell you different types of innovations also. So it's not about risk taking. Because what happens, they have these big brands, they have an established set of factory, everything. They will not change too much. Maybe a food processing industry is there, it is having these different flavors. Very seldom you will see it will launch a new flavor. And I'll give you an example which is familiar, would be familiar to you guys. like this brand Saffola oil, was there in the market, has been in the market leader in edible oils, cooking oils. But did it come with cold pressed oil first? No, it took a while. All these startups came, with cold pressed oil, and local businesses came with cold pressed oil because there was a requirement. Market came to know about the hazards of refined oil, and then the big brands, they started after it was validated because the startups are having market. They created a market of cold pressed oil. Then these other big brands, they entered into cold pressed oil market. So they don't innovate that much. They do innovation, but they will not come up with this blend, this active, and these different types. But they will not take this risk. But innovation is not about risk taking. It involves calculated risk. You assess the risk and you mitigate the risk. You put control measures in place. So that is. So this is something, how innovation, what are the requirements for innovation? You require intellectual capital. What is intellectual capital? Capital, money. Right? Capital is money. Yes, you need money for business. And you will be knowing the M's, 5 M's, somebody say 5 M's, 7 M's for business. Know that, right? In management, you must have done management something. 5 M's, manpower, material, and so many other things are there. So for innovation, what is required? What is the idea? Where does the idea come from? From what problem? Where does the problem come from? Observation. What do you observe? People. See, everything, this whole body, whatever we are doing, this thing, everything, it's outcome of us. We are living here. It's our mind. Our minds are the human capital. We are the human capital. Minds. What happens is, see, internationally, globally, you will see patent war between Samsung, Apple, and many companies having IP wars. So to capture the market, to capture the IP, that intellectual property, which is required by the market, capture that technology, and then you will become a market leader. But the truth is, the people, inventor, who have come up with this innovation, this technology, they are the minds, they understand. So when you start a business, not every time you will be a CEO, and you will be working, for growing your business. You need to have an R&D team, So you have that task given to your R&D team. So that R&D team, you need to hold them, retain them. Some companies also employ this technique, what they will do, because in the patent database, names of inventors are mentioned. So if a company is working in a particular landscape, a particular sector, it will see, in that landscape, who are the inventors, who are finding out patents. Maybe it is coming from, most of the patents are coming in the telecom area from Samsung, or from Xiaomi, or some other applicant, but the inventor names are mentioned. So who is the common inventor, who has the most invention? They will target them. Okay, we take that employee. He is the human capital over there. We take them in the future patents, he will come up with future inventions. So they target them. Instead of taking license or buying that patent, you take them. So that intellectual capital is the underlying thing for all innovation. So the intellectual capital, intellectual mind, it creates intellectual assets. Intellectual assets are intangible assets. Intangible means you cannot touch or feel, but it has an outcome. Like a diagram or drawing, you can almost see it, but it's not intellectual assets like plant and machinery. You go to an industry, the plant, machinery, furniture, computers over there, you can sell them like that. But intellectual assets, depending upon the creativity in that, the value changes, So those are intellectual assets. So company has intellectual assets also as well as physical assets. And over the past, I think Standard & Poor's, they have done a survey and they have seen the intellectual assets have now, in 2021, they have grown to 80% of the SMEs, small and medium companies. So that means, the total company valuation, 80% valuation is coming from the intellectual assets. So that is the intellectual assets are important. Now, out of that intellectual assets, very few will be intellectual property. So intellectual property is that which you can register on your name, which the company can. That is an intellectual property. It's a property you can acquire. You can have rights to it. So you will have intellectual assets, but intellectual property is legally registered. So there will be many things, technical know-how in the company, customer database, the methods of manufacturing, and your work principles, how to boost the employee morale. You do it in a different way. Like you work in a big company like Google, Facebook, they have a different model, to boost their company more. So that is the intellectual assets, that method, but it's not an intellectual property. So the patents, trademarks, those are intellectual property. So what is intellectual property? So according to WIPO is World Intellectual Property Organization in Geneva, Switzerland. So intellectual property refers to the creations of mind, such as inventions, literary and artistic works, designs, and symbols, names, images used in commerce. So first one, inventions. Normally, and mostly it is protected under patents. Literary and artistic works, they are mostly protected under copyrights. Designs are protected under industrial designs. They may also be protected under copyright. They may also be protected under trademark. Symbols, names, images, which are used in commerce, these are mostly related to the brand. The logos, the word mark you see in the packaging, that are registered under trademarks. So this is the. So I think some of you guys are very sleepy in the morning. Is it boring or informative, or too informative? So what I do, I switch the put to a different slide, which is more interesting, which has more images, so that you will be interested. So I told you about this, right? Told you about these ideas. Now this is even otherwise, this knowledge is useful, and to have knowledge of idea. Maybe you attend interview rounds, they may ask you this question. Right? Not only general knowledge, also subject knowledge. It's good to have this knowledge. So, trademarks, copyright, etc., design patents. There are also trade secrets, semiconductor layout, making design and geographical engineering. So, if you define trademark, so trademark is a sign capable of distinguishing the goods or services of one enterprise from those of the other enterprises. So that is the intention of having a trademark. So if you see Pepsi, Thumbs Up, Sprite, so it all distinguishes the trademark. Maybe Pepsi and Sprite, do they belong to the same company? Same company? Coca-Cola, Pepsi are different. That I know. But what about Sprite and Pepsi? These brands coming from same company? Sprite, who is the company? Coca-Cola. So Sprite and Coca-Cola are from the same company.
Yes, sir.
What about Fanta? So see, so you are able to distinguish that this is coming from this company, Coca-Cola, this is coming from Pepsi. So I don't drink this drinks, that one. So, but it is relevant to you because most of the students will drink. When I was in my colleges, I used to drink also. We used to have cold spots. 7-Up, was popular then. We used to drink that, So that is the purpose of brand trademark. So consumer mindset, okay, this is logo, is of thumbs up, with the thumbs up, So and the bottle is like this. So the bottle is like this and this color, and also sometimes colors are also trademark. You see the blue color oil water, coconut hair oil water, blue color parachute. Everybody knows, parachute. So it is linked to the bottle shape. And those of you using bikes, and also involved in servicing maintenance, you see the bottle, engine oil bottle of a shape, particular shape, that is Castrol engine oil, of that shape. That shape is also there in the trademark. So it helps the consumer to choose goods or services among different companies available in the market. So if this shape is not there, if this color is not there, if names are not there, so they all look same. So it helps you as a consumer, which brand you want. So you want this brand, you will buy that brand. So that is the purpose of this trademark, and that is why company protect its brands, by registering it. So you can see, and what are the examples? Could be one single word or a combination of words. Like Reliance is the parent trademark. Then there will be Geo, another Geo Mart, another thing. So in that also Geo is the parent trademark. So like Micromax, nothing like anything. That slogan is also included in that. So then letters also could be a trademark. And numerals, drawings, symbols, images, 3D packaging, color is also a trademark, right? Cadbury or Mondelez company, it's also the purple color is a trademark for that. So other chocolates cannot do packaging that with purple color. Also, there are non-conventional trademarks, although not applicable in India, but in some countries it is there. Smell is not applicable in India. Sound is applicable. So, can you give me an example of sound trademark? The sound is trademark belongs. You hear that sound and you not to know how it goes with that product or that company. Board, yes. Sony also, when you switch on, then it comes, Motorola is switch on, and then Windows is there, Windows log on. That is trademark. Windows log. So this also trademark. Smell is also trademark. Some particular smell, that is trademark. Some hotels have trademark. So that if you enter that chain of hotels, you will find that smell. Always at the reception, that smell will be there. And no other hotels can have that smell. Because what happens, hotels is an experience, hospitality experience. So when you go to a resort hotel, they are giving you an experience, and to associate that experience with something, they are introducing, other than the name of the hotel, everything, they are introducing that smell also. So whenever you have that smell, you immediately recollect that experience. So what happens, that experience is born out of two things. The facilities provided by the hospitality provided. Also, the phase of the life you are in. Maybe you go over there, with your family, over there, and you have this memory, childhood memory. Or maybe during your youth, like right now, you go with your girlfriend or boyfriend. You have that experience over there, that feeling, So that it's a two-part feeling. One, what the hotel is offering, the facility, plus also that is something personal to you. So what happens, immediately next time you remember that smell, everything comes back to your mind. So, so the hotel is taking a trademark out of it that whenever you see, smell that same fragrance, and you recollect that pleasant memories, that is coming from that hotel. So you the next time again you select that hotel and your mind will say, I want to go to that hotel. So that is the purpose of trademark. So I explained in terms of smell, but it is applicable in all other cases also. So it is there, in childhood, if you can name one of the brand, you can associate happy memories which you were having in childhood. Your parents, your mom was making something, like I can remember Rasna or a group of Glucon D. During my exam, my mom used to pack Glucon D. So in summer, Maggie, yes, that, So sometimes with your friends, if you are living in hostel, you make Maggie. Like that, things are there, So that is the purpose of brand, It creates loyalty in the customer, and it wants to retain that loyalty, which it has created. So copyrights and the related rights, they are not much applicable in the business environment, right? Mostly it is applicable in the film industry or authors, they write books, publish books, music industry, yes. YouTube, yes. YouTube it is applicable. Copyright wars, immediately, this rap war was going on. I don't know if you follow the rap culture in India, which is currently come up, Do you follow rap culture? So who is your favorite rapist? Honey Singh? Raga?
Carry that.
No, right? Okay, only few I have heard, I have heard because he was very popular in our country. He was a person who brought the Indian rap, took Indian rap, to the international standard. And Bacha Honey Singh are popular because of the Bollywood music they have done. And there are new Eminem every day, and all these people are also there. And she stand is Eminem, yes. So he's Eminem, right? And she stands. So he was popular in our time also. So I used to listen to him. So the point is, the rap war was going on, and Raftar was there, He was having, yes, this track they are preparing, So a lot of people, copy it, from some certain portions from there, because to make this proofing of these tracks, on each other, So immediately, Raftar and all these rappers, who have already established themselves, they have a team. Immediately, if you copy some part of their video or you put on your YouTube channel, immediately you are sent an infringement notice. You have to take that video down in 12 hours. Copyright issue notice they will send. And the cool thing about copyright, you don't have to register it. It's not mandatory. Even without registration, you get protection. You just have to publish it in a public domain somewhere, where proof is there that it is published on that day, and it cannot be edited. So once it is published, for example, big famous platform, companies say that I have published it on that day, that time, before you published it. So it belongs to me because I have published. You can go and check on YouTube. So you own that copyright. Till the time you have a proof to support your claim, you are the owner of it. So that is the good thing about copyright. Now also there is something in your mind. You see this all these movies. Normally the copyright, how much years it lasts. Once you initiate that thing, once you make a painting or you write a song, something. So from that day onwards, it is in India. It is for 60 years. It is valid. You own the copyright over it. Copyright is monopoly. You have the right to make money out of it. Nobody else can make money out of it. So even if it's your song and somebody is singing that song at a Navratri event or at a Ganesh event, an Nimanjanam event, and he's making money out of it, you can always sue him and take the money. Although he performed, you will get the money. So that is the advantage of owning IP rights. So 60 years plus the life of the author. That is the tenure of the copyright. So, for example, today you have created a song. So you are the copyright owner of it. You have the money till 60 years plus your life. So you are living, from now to another maybe 50, 60, 70 years. So from that another 60 years. So it will be your life plus 60 years. Till that time. So even after your death, another 60 years it will last. So your descendants, your children, they can get money, royalty income out of it. So that is the duration of copyright. But you see these movies, they come out and they are being remade, right? You see that the story is same. Can you give some example? Arjun Reddy, yes. What are the different version of copyright? Aditya Verma. In Tamil, okay. Tamil Singh is the Bollywood version of it, okay. And Arjun Singh Reddy is the Telugu version of it, Bollywood version of it. Yes. So these are same, same story. So are there no copyright issues in that? Issues are there, right? How many of you agree there are issues in copyright issues in this?
Take the remake rights from the producers.
What?
They buy the remake rights from the producers.
Okay, so you believe that rights have been purchased from the producer?
Yeah.
Copyright and its related right. What are these things? I tell you. Copyright is the author. He owns the copyright. Related rights are, for example, I'll give you an example of piece of music. A lyrics is written. The copyright is owned by the lyricist. The music is composed. It is owned by the composer. The dance steps copyright owned by choreographer. Who is performing? Who is being filmed on that? Maybe Shahid Kapoor or Alia Arjun is there. Arjun Reddy? Vijay Deverakonda. Yes. So Vijay Deverakonda, right? So he is performing on that song, So he owns the performance right on it. And it is being broadcasted or produced by Sony Music or something, So they own the broadcaster's right for it. So these are related rights, Although the original lyricist, choreographer, the composer, they are the origin. They are the author, and they own the related rights are there, performance rights are there, broadcaster rights are there. Their right is also there. So if you want to perform that song and get money out of it, you have to take permission from Vijay Deverakonda first. To get the performance right for it. You are in your community, you put a television screen on a projector and you are broadcasting that movie. You take a broadcaster's right from Sony Entertainment first. If you are charging for it, if it is free public event, and you are not making money out of it, it's fine. But otherwise, you have to take permission. So these are related rights. So now, coming back to your answer, you said that from the producer they have taken. So it's not only the producer, they have to take everything, the writer also. So that is one part. Okay, they have taken. You are assuming, believing.
Sir, actually, the producer owns the whole movie. So when a director gives a script or a musician composes the music for the film, actually the producer owns the whole thing.
No, there are each
rights from the producer itself.
No. That is not as clear, as easy, as simple as you think it is. It is not like that. They need to have an agreement. See what happened. This is a college. There is a website of it. Okay. So the college must have been outsourcing that web designing, web development activity to some other company, web development company. So the web development company has designed this beautiful websites for engineering college. So everything is put the content into. Some of the content provided by the college, some content the designer or the web developer have come up with it. So it's not necessary that designer the content which he has come up with and the programming code, the copyright of that is owned by the college. It is not necessary. It can still be owned by the web designer. It depends on how the contract is. So it depends on that. So unless it is specified. Normally the code will go to the college, but the content provided by the designer or the designs which we have provided, that will be copyrighted by the designer itself. So beside the website, if the college is using those particular designs which the designer has put in other works, like in the pamphlet, distribution, other thing, then it might constitute a copyright infringement. So they have to take, the college has to take explicit permission from the copyright holder. In the copyright also there are two rights, moral rights and economic rights. Moral right, even though if you are not using it commercially, but you have to take, you are not making money out of it, but if you are degrading that design or the morality of it, then you are liable to punishment. He can sue you for that also. Because there was a case in which this famous sculptor had built a statue, and he had built it for government, and some desecration was there on that statue. Then he sued government of India for that. And then based on the moral right he owned, although he didn't have economic right because it was built for the government, but he claimed this, you cannot desecrate my work because this is my art. And it is desecrated, then government eventually paid 50 lakh as this compensation to the sculptors. So that is there. So okay, now coming back to movie, Arjuna Reddy movie, how many was? Yes. So it is legal or copyright infringement? Legal. Why do you think it is legal? You see, story is same, it's the same story, but still copied, by another movie. So it's a copyright infringement case. How they can copy the story? They give money, they have purchased the rights.
From the economy, they give
that is royalty. That is what is royalty. If you make profit, that much profit, out of profit you give certain cut. That is known as royalty income. Or per product, if you are it's a product, you are selling per product, this much money you will give. 1 rupee per product you will give, like that. So that is what is royalty income. So it's I'll tell you what is the thing. What does copyright protect? That is why it is important to know what it protects. Copyright only protects the expression of the art. How you express it. It's not protecting the underlying concept. Only the expression. You are from CSE, you will understand this well. So there is a code, software code. There is a logic behind that code. The program will do something. That logic is there. That program is done to solve a particular problem. So that logic has come up from your mind. Coding is only the syntax part of it. So copyright will protect only the syntax, only the expression, how you write the code. So that is the thing. So in that movie, how that scene is portrayed, what are the names of the character, that is protected. How it is expressed, that is protected by the copyright, not the plot. So the plot is not protected. So there is no infringement, no copyright infringement. That is it. As a general rule of thumb, what constitutes copyright infringement is if the material is copied word to word more than 10%, then it is a copyright infringement. If it is less than 10%, for example, there is certain novel, and you want to write a summary of it. So if you use words from it, it amounts to more than 10% of the original content of the book, then it's a copyright infringement. Otherwise, you can use direct quotes spaces, which have become emphatic, to give punch to your summary. You can use even important things, important dialogues. So that is the thing. So even you may find, somehow in both the movies, some dialogues are common. Maybe one scene is common. So that may not constitute copyright infringement. So these all things are covered by, so even drawings, technical drawings are covered by copyright. And even software in India, it is protected under copyright only. You cannot protect under patent. Patent is a different IP, right? Now, can you tell me, you have come up with an app, very good app. And the underlying thing of it, the foundation of it is the program you have written. then there's a program which you have written which makes the app more faster or something. So will you go for copyright of it to protect it so that others don't copy that program? Will you copyright it?
Yes, sir.
Will you give in, will the copyright give in enough protection? Think about it. What copyright protects? See, copyright protects the expression of it, not the underlying concept. What is your creativity in that? Not how you are writing the code. What is the logic in the code? What is the logic you have used? You must have used certain formula of maths or statistics or something, you know, which is making the program more efficient. So if that is not protected, you must have used C++ or Python. I will use another language. I will take the logic. I will use another language. There is no copyright infringement. Just like Arjun Reddy and Kabir Singh. I will copy your program. Your copyright is there. You will say this program, which is doing this function, is copyrighted to me. Okay, it is copyrighted to you. You have written a program in C++. I will write in C. Even then, it will not be 10%, more than 10%. You will use another language. Syntax maybe doesn't help. So that is the thing. It will not give you sufficient protection. That is why copywriting is not for the protection of it. For namesake, you can do copyright, but it's not sufficient protection. So what are industrial designs? So industrial designs, I will tell you in brief here. The specific patterns, designs on your product that is protected under industrial designs. Now you have to remember what is protected under industrial design. Those designs should not be the functional features. Should not bring some ergonomic features. For example, this is a unique design. This remote control which I can do. This is an ergonomic design. It fits in my hand better. And I can hold it better, use it better. So this cannot be protected under industrial design. The design of this should not be give the functional characteristic or functional feature of it. So it should be the design which appeals to the customer. Like for example, your earrings, your necklace, they have different designs. So industrial products and technical instruments, medical instruments, watches, jewelry, luxury items, household, vehicles, architectural structures, textile design. So all these. So what is the purpose of industrial design? Is makes an article attractive and appealing. It is adding commercial value to the phone design. If it is a different design, unique design, so attracting you, attracting some part of the customers, some part of the market. So it's a unique design. It adds commercial value to it. So you can make a box. Companies can make a box phone. But people like sleek phones. Only then commercially it is sellable. So that is the enhanced commercial value. Increase of marketability and profit. That is the reason to protect industrial design. So now you will be clear what are industrial design. You can see examples of industrial design over there. You can make out some of the products may not appeal to you. Some of the products will also, some of the designs will appeal to only some particular people. Like car, how many of you like that car design? Anybody of you like that car design? You like it? No, you like it, right? So see, it is not about the jewelry. How many of you like that jewelry design? Appeals to you, because you have to also remember in mind, not just for sake of answering over here, but if you have been given an opportunity to buy it, to spend your money on it, will you buy that design or will you say no, it's not that good, I'll go for some other design? Another design, right? So that is the thing, So some good design is the brilliant design is there. If I am a jeweler, I take that design, it becomes popular. Then I will protect it by registering under industrial design. So I get 10 years of protection. In India, industrial design is protected for 10 years for the first period. Then if still that design is popular in your market, and if you want to extend it, you can extend for another 5 years. But if it runs out of fashion, there is no point in applying for renewal, just abandon it. So that is the purpose of registering industrial design, so that other jeweler cannot offer the same design to the market. So that is industrial design. Now it should not be a functional feature of it. It should not serve any functional purpose. If it serves a functional purpose, then it cannot be protected under this industrial design. Then it comes under patent. So now most important of the IP rights are patents. So these are some famous patents, some revolutionary patents. So they are writing patent, Edison and so on, inventor Edison, applicant, or the patent, the owner of that patent is Edison and so on. Suing by between OM and Singer. So Singer is the person who is the inventor. Smartphone, Samsung and Apple, inventor, various inventors are there. Motorola initially was the company who came up with Motorola and Sony were pioneering this field here. So I tell you what is patent. Patent is an exclusive right granted for an invention. So exclusive right. I'll also explain this. What is exclusive right in legal terms? For an invention, which is a product or a process. So in India and most of the countries, it should be either a product. Technology should be in the form of product or a process, a method of manufacturing certain product. That provides in general a new way of doing something or offers a new technical solution to a problem. So if there's a problem which has been existent and using that product or process, there is a new way, new technical solution, or already something is existing. You are doing it, but there is a new way of doing it. So that is patentable. So patent technical. Obviously, if you want to apply for a patent, you have to disclose the technical information to the patent office. This is the basic criteria to judge whether it is patentable or not. So three criteria I said. Besides these, there is one fundamental criteria. The fundamental criteria is there are certain non-patentable areas, like discovery of a natural theory, invention relating to atomic bombs, plant variety, method of doing agriculture, horticulture, mathematical expression. These are non-patentable areas as per the patent. If you are not anything under that, you cannot. Although you can publish a paper, because universities, researchers, they keep on publishing papers. But papers are not of commercial importance. They are mostly for reputation among peers, among the community. But patent is only for commercial purpose. So you have an invention or something, only if it has a commercial value, you go for the patent. Patent is going to cost you. The official fees are less, government charges are less. But the drafting, patent, everything, it has to be written in a technical structure, technical form. It has to be submitted in different forms. There are more than 30 forms for patent filing. Different forms are there. So that you require the help of a patent agent. Sometimes there will be hearing, you will require attorney. So it requires expenditure. Normally, a patent filing would cost you somewhere around 15,000 and upwards. 15,000 is still minimum. Nobody will file it for 15,000. 15,000 is just a provisional specification. Initially, you file it, you give the provisional specification, just the borders and outline of it, and you are given 1 year chance to file the complete specification. So that is there. And the cost is, I think, 1,600. Then, depending on the length of pages, the claims you are making in the patent, it will increase. Additional claim, I think 180 rupees is there, something like that. So government charges are very less. So our ministry has a scheme under which you can get reimbursement of the patent. So these are the three criteria. So if it is not falling in the non-patentable area, then it can be patented, provided it has novelty. What is the meaning of novelty? Novelty. You can prompt the English word. Novel. New. Yes. Newness. Yes. That is it. Newness. Novelty is newness. It should be new. That means it should not be existing in the public domain anywhere in the world or anywhere in the time. Should not have been. If it's there in the public domain, the patent examiner in the office where you have applied the patents, he will examine everywhere all the patent databases, India, abroad, journals, paper published, Google search, everything it will do. If it is not existent anywhere, then it will pass novelty criteria. Second one is non-obviousness or inventiveness. Yes.
So like if there is a product which has not been patented, can I apply for the patent?
No, it will exist in the public domain. Product is existing in the public domain. So, you know, so that if that product is there, you cannot apply it. Some features of the product, you know, not features of the product, but the way of manufacturing that product which is already existing, but it's not in public domain. Maybe it's inside one company, and they don't have proof of it, you know, record of it written, certain record, you know, which they can make it, you know, this has been written on that date, that particular. They cannot establish the fact, you know, then it can be patented. That method particularly, which is not there in the public domain. But whatever things are in public domain, the product, not the features of the product, you know, which consumers have experienced, you know, it's already there in public domain. You cannot get. That is the first step. Besides that, it should also be there should be non-obvious inventive step. So inventive step is measured by patent examiner in India by FOSITA. What is FOSITA? FOSITA is the full form is person having ordinary skill. Person having ordinary skill. That is so a person, for example, it is a mechanical structure. So a person in that particular sector, you know, he is having ordinary skill in that mechanical engineering. If he is able to say it's not an inventive step, I can also make there is no invention in it, then it is not an invention. So that is how it is judged. Inventive step. It should not be obvious to other technical experts. You know, having ordinary skill, you know, it should be a little bit complicated, you know. Some series of steps, you know, iterations, which is not normally, which is not common, you know, which you have taken. That is why you have come to that result. So, and the third step, you know, after fulfilling this, third step, it should also have some usefulness, industrial applicability. Not having industrial applicability, why patent it? And you cannot sell it, you cannot make money. You know, you can publish a paper on it, but there is no point in having patent. So these three are the main things. Or what I see, you know, from universities, what they are doing. They keep on filing. If I have seen the rising number of patents they are filing, and they are publishing, you know, patents. Normally, entrepreneurs will not get the patent published in the patent journal. They will keep it secret, you know, do not publish it, you know, unless I develop, because you have filed it, you know, you have the idea, but it's not completely developed. You know. It may not be completely developed. Even if you have idea, you can apply for the patent. You get only a time to develop the product, come up with the complete specification, detailed specification. Detailed specification, only a prototype is there. You know. It doesn't mean that actual product fits the market. Then you will do trials also after getting patent granted, lot of things. So, thing is, you know, actual entrepreneur will not want to disclose it. You know what happens, you know, when you publish the patent, it is out in the public by the journal. What happens? Other people can have access to it, and they have access to it. They can work on improvements. Okay, you have made this thing, or you have this idea. Okay, I will add some other things. You know, they will have improvement over it, and they can patent that. You know, normally, they, unless for some reasons, you know, they will not because universities, you know, they file for reputation. Although patent may not be granted, you know, there is no criteria. I'm not patent, but they will publish it, and they will say, okay, we have published so many patents. It is the thing. But these are the three criteria: novelty, non-obviousness, and patent was granted, you know, from the date of filing, which is also called as priority date. That is the time when the idea was introduced in the public domain. Date of the filing, you get 20 years of protection in India. So what right you get over it? The patent owner, not the inventor. It could be the inventor, but not necessarily the inventor. The patent owner or the patentee has an exclusive right to prevent or stop others from commercially exploiting the patented invention. See, it's not mentioned, you know, that to manufacture or sell or distribute or export or use commercial, the patented invention commercially. It's not a positive right, it's a negative right, it's an excluding right. you can exclude others to prevent loss of stocks. For example, be mindful, these rights are territorial. So if you find patent rights in India, it's only applicable in India. If that product is successful in India and there is a market for a product, obviously there is a market in India, there could be a market in other countries also. So over that country, your competitor can manufacture, can go to that country, manufacture and distribute in that, side by side with your product. So, but because you have right only in India, that is the thing. So it's a territorial right. You file in India, you get protection in India. You have to file in other country also. Now, how you can file in other countries? There is a Paris Convention Treaty, also known as PCT, Patent Cooperation Treaty. So that track you can file in multiple countries. Countries where you have market for a product. So for example, a diabetic medicine is there. And you see most of the diabetics are in US and not in UK, but in some countries in Europe, and then in India. Then these countries of your interest, your drug you have patented, first you will apply in India. Any patent first you have to apply in India. You get a priority date, that is the date of filing. You get 1 year of time to submit the complete specification to Indian office as well as to file a PCT patent. PCT. Within 1 year, this is the lapse of 1 year. If you file within 1 year, you still get monopoly rights, it's exclusive rights in PCT. In PCT form, you can select the countries, as many countries you want. Then what happens, PCT, which is a typo, they will submit your application individually to all different countries, patent offices. If you want in Australia, they will submit to Australian patent office, in Japan patent office, European Union patent office, if you want European Union market, they will submit in European Union patent office. So this is the PCT is the common step. So you need not apply individually in different countries, plus you get 1 year priority. Since you can decide 1 year completely that whether you need to file in other country also. Other country is additional expenses over. Filing over there. Then after filing, once it is granted, then maintenance of that patent. Means renewal fee also you have to pay. So India it is very cheap, but other country it is expensive. So you can exclude others from commercially exploiting the patented invention. Means if you are protecting in India, they cannot do any business in India. They cannot even import the product in India and sell it. They cannot export from India that product. Yes.
So if the person has already registered a patent, can he change the name? If he decides he wants to shift that patent to some other person, can he change?
Yes, that is called as assignment. You can assign it. See, inventors, there are various forms in patent. So one of the forms is inventor declaration form. Who is the inventor? So that is what inventorship you have to mention over there. Those are the inventors. So most of the applicant by default is the patentee or patent owner. So he will own the patent. So of course it can be assigned. So for example, I am a company, I am owning the patent, a mobile company like Nokia. I was doing well, but I stopped doing innovation. I stuck to keypad. I didn't come up with this touchscreen phones. I was out of the market. Now I cannot compete in this business. I'm too obsolete in the market. So I will sell it to Microsoft. So whatever patents, which are still valid, these are my IP rights. That also I will sell along with my company to Microsoft. So it will be assigned to Microsoft. So in the patent database you can see assigned to Microsoft. Plus also you can license it. Means you are not assigning the IP. Break. Yes. Break. Okay. That's a break. Then we continue.
33 ఈరోజు నిన్నదా ఈరోజు మళ్ళీ ఇది ప్రెసెంట్ కదా ఇది ప్రెసెంట్
సుశాంత్ కట్ చేసిండు ఏదో తీసిండు కదా మళ్ళీ టిక్ అని పెట్టి
ఈడు ప్రెసెంట్ కదా ఈడు యోనస్
వచ్చిండు
ఈడు పైన కూడా ప్రెసెంట్ కదా ఈడు
వీళ్ళిద్దరు రాలేరు అఖిల్ రూమన్ రాలేరు
ఈడు ప్రెసెంట్
వీడు ప్రెసెంట్
ఈ రుమన్ ఒక్కడు రాలేదు
అక్కడ కూడా రాలేదు.
వచ్చిందా ప్రెసెంట్ అని ఉందన్నా
ఎక్కడ నేను కట్ చేసేసిన
మనం ఎందుకు రాసినా మన దాంట్లో అదే ఇంకో పేపర్ ఏదే నేను నీకు ఇచ్చిన కదా పేపరు సందర్భం
नहीं compulsory lots like 29
रिचार्ज कैसे करना
मालूम मेरे को बट कौन सा प्लान डालना वो नहीं मालूम
10 रुपए का समथिंग SMS प्लान यू सी SMS प्लान
he would only to
Otherwise, if you want to patent the program, or say program is not patentable. But this system, the system it is there. You can patent together with the system, but you have to patent it in such a way that only that system, the program will only work for that system. For example, here, like for Android phones, certain apps, together with Android, they have patent regulation. So that app will be only for Android. So it is, they have covered the entire market. On App Store, it is different. Apple is doing different. On Android devices, they have monopoly. Somebody else cannot make put in the Play Store. Like that. Android along with mobile. Yes, along with mobile. Android software is technology. That's right. Yes. Welcome back. So you are impressed? What did you do during your break time? Chocolates. Right. What chocolates do you have?
Dairy milk, silk.
Milk, sir.
Milk.
No, sir.
Not milk, it's sugar.
Silk.
It's not still sugar. Dairy milk is sugar.
Yes, sir.
It is sugar. I think 50% of dairy milk is sugar. I think 40-50%. Sugar also. So you add sugar. And certain chemical flavors are there in dairy milk. You have to read behind the ingredients. So, welcome back. So I'll skip the idea. I'll skip this. I'll just quickly go through this slide. And finish it up. Basic idea of you already have divided acting. So for 20 years you get from the priority date. Priority date is the filing date when you file the provisional application. For 20 days the protection is granted. Normal the technology will become obsolete before 20 years. So geographical indication is other thing. I will not go into that. Trade secret is important for businesses. You have to identify what gives your business a competitive edge. All those things. Maybe you have a certain employee, it's very useful to the company, you have to protect it through contact. That if he goes to other company, then he will not tell how your company functions, other things, activities. Or he cannot, after leaving your company, he cannot join the other company for 2-3 years, your competitor. So that is how you protect trade secrets, your so your sales method, distribution methods, consumer profile, your marketing strategy, your list of suppliers, clients, manufacturing processes. So those could be a trade secret. List of suppliers also, not only clients. Suppliers means who are supplying you raw materials for making the product. Because certain supplier that can manufacture exactly what is required for your product at a cheaper price. That is a trade secret. Other your computer may not be knowing. That is why when he makes the product, he is selling it at an expensive price. You are going to sell at a cheaper price because of your supplier. So that is can also be trade secret. So all these things you have to protect by legal forms, documentation, those things, by agreements. So, so these are the IPs which are applicable over here. These are the IP laws in India. So like this one here, he was asking me whether chip, PCB, they can be protected under patents. So there is something called a Semiconductor Integrated Layout Design Act. So it cannot be protected under patents. Semiconductor Layout Design Act is protected under Layout Design Act 2000. So this is an example how a product is protected through a combination of IP. So you may have one technology, which is the main technology for the product. But when the product is made, there are various things which you can protect. Because you do a patent over your technology, the patent will only last for 20 years. But the company is going to last for more than 20 years. So after the patent expires, how do you retain your USP? That is important. You have to translate the value of your technology to your brand. Because brand lasts for ever. I didn't tell you this, but trademark, when you do the registration, it lasts for 10 years. Then before expiry, you can renew it for another 10 years. Like that, you can do it indefinitely. So once you have registered a brand, indefinitely it belongs to you or to the company, to the owner. So that is the value of brand. So once you translate that technology into your brand, even though technology patent has expired, your competitor is offering the same technology which you once patented 20 years ago. Now he's also getting that. The customer will go for it because the customer doesn't know this patent and other things. He will see, the brand. Apple, for example, Apple had lot of patents. Some of it have expired. Other competitors are offering, but still, some people only they look for Apple. Oh no, that's it. Security, safety is in Apple only. Other devices are also offering that, but they have translated the value of the patent to the trademark. That is brand value transparency, right? Value transparency. You transfer the value from one IP to other. So 20 years you have time to transfer that value. I'll give you one common example which grossing, for example. What does grossing do? Headache, right? Headache. So basically it has this paracetamol. Nowadays people are becoming increasingly familiar of paracetamol. That paracetamol is the content, which fills your blood, and you read fever or headache, alleviates. So basically blood thinner. You can also have ginger. Ginger is also a natural blood thinner. So now people go, maybe they say, give me some paracetamol like that. But people used to go and they used to say, give me Crocin during my times. Medical shop, give me Crocin. Then the pharmacist will give you Crocin. Although the Crocin, the patent expired long back, for the paracetamol. But still it continues because it transferred the patent value to Crocin. It became popular and like blue film, on the Crocin, which covers it and blue film, that became. And whenever the shopkeeper gives that, if that blue film is not there, customer will give me that Crocin, this is not true. That is trademark. The name Crocin is trademark. So people still will buy Crocin only, they will not buy generic medicine. So that is the value transfer. Even after expiry of the patent, they are still able to retain the market, and get benefit out of it. And also the value of Crocin, the expensive that other generic paracetamol. Crocin will be more expensive. So like that. But now it has changed. Now recent times the doctor will prescribe. And the medicine manufacturing company, they have a arrangement with the doctor. You know about that, right? Obviously, because doctor recommends you buy from the pharmacy. Some commission goes to the doctor for that medicine. So it is like that. So whatever doctor recommends that. So that is different things. So over here, can you identify for that bag? That is a different choice bag. So what are the different IPs? Yes, what is industrial design? Yes, doctrines and arithmetic, design, feature. Yes. What is that flap? What is that flap?
Fabrics.
Fabric. Which fabric? The fabric of the work of the bag. Yes, so fabric, yes, it is there. What fabric? It is not seen over here in this photo, but the fabric could also be a patent. It could be a special fabric. It's one of the startups who went to Shark Tank India, season 1.
Shark Tank.
What is that? Shark Tank. You know that entrepreneur from Hyderabad?
No.
2-3 entrepreneurs were there from Hyderabad in Shark Tank. Shark Tank, do you see Shark Tank?
Yes, sir.
You have seen all the episodes?
No, some of the best.
So there is one Deepti Nathala. She had approached us, before COVID, she had approached us. That time she developed this unique fabric, and she was a nanotechnologist. Yes, she was a nanotechnologist earlier. So when she came back, she saw, traveling in train, she saw Indian women, they are wearing this scarf, everything, to protect them from pollution from sun rays, but it's not actually protecting them. So she developed this using nanotechnology. In between the cotton bonding, she put copper in between, so that it filters 99% of the pollution and germs, and also blocks UV rays. And she got it certified. So the purpose for this invention was that, but COVID happened. So she got an opportunity. She started making masks. That she already had that, everything she had. That opportunity came to her, and she had everything, to make mask out of it, and it was required, who had that technology. Only few companies, were making three-ply masks and this thing, but she already had this thing. But the thing, it wasn't affordable. She could not scale up immediately, or she could not get all the benefits out of it, but she had the product. So that fabric could also be a patent, she applied for a patent, it's still pending. So that is one. What else? Brand is there is regular choice. That is trademark one ID. What? Yes, you can prompt. No problem. Yes, artistic is one is under industrial design. You can also protect under copyright. And then the lock is there. Lock. The locking mechanism. If it's a new kind of locking mechanism, if it would have been that time, it can be patented also. Locking mechanism. So these are this example is how you can protect your product by a combination of IP. Now over here, ladies' time, it will not make that sense. But in case of a phone, it will make more sense. Not only one patent, multiple things we have to protect. So these are examples of how copyright, you make money through copyright. How you can see the Angry Birds, who is the painter of this, who created these birds, this product does not belong to him, but he gets money, income, whenever these products are sold. A royalty he gets, because these products, for example, take that shorts, kid shorts, green color shorts. If you remove that Angry Birds, it will not have that marketing appeal. Kids will not buy it because Angry Birds logo is there, it becomes attractive. Same with Disney characters, Mickey Mouse, everything, So if you are, for example, a mug company, coffee mug company, you are selling it, and you want to put Mickey Mouse, you can put Mickey Mouse because the copyright is expired now. 2021 it expired. You can put Mickey Mouse. But if you want to put Minnie Mouse, Donald Duck, still copyright is owned by Disney. You have to take license from one of their associates in India, to put that. And every mug you sold, you have to pay some royalty. You need to have an agreement. So that way you can earn money. So royalty. So there is a switch, but I'll just skip it and I will go to another part. Funding part. Funding for your risk. So entrepreneur. So see, you guys, plenty of you raised your hands, and I asked, who wants to be entrepreneur? People want. But who is your entrepreneurship word? Somebody is your role model.
Yes.
Yes. You can come. Who is your idol? Elon Musk, yes, good. And Elon Musk. So he's the ultimate, this embodiment of entrepreneur. Sundar Pichai. Mukesh Ambani. J.R.D. Tata. Adani Gautam Ambani. He recently became the second richest he touched, and then he came back down. You know why? What is the reason for it?
Stocks,
Stocks, yes.
stock value is
Increased and decreased. Which stock particular in particular? Adani Port. Good, that means you guys invest in stocks also. See what I tell you, this is good info. I didn't expect you to know this, but thing is, see, all the other stocks, were going crazy already after the BJP came into power. They were already going up, and there are some companies in Mauritius, who are doing the investment and everything, In between also, there was some news came out, and the stocks fell. SEBI was going to put some restrictions, and it fell, but then clarification was received, then again it revived. So primarily these companies, 7 companies are there which are investing in these stocks and major holder of all Adani stocks. So they are in huge portfolio and they are inflating the price beyond their actual value. So there was recently in March, I think they launched this. You have heard about this Fortune brand, right? Fortune FMCG brand, oils, rice. Yes, this is there. Quite popular item, commodity item, So there is no IP in that except the brand. So it is commodity market is a market, where cheaper the price, your product will be sold. It's a price competition market. Then there is a premium market. Premium market means you have a particular IP, USP over other brands, and you can sell it at a premium price. You can have good margin in that. So commodity business is very competing business, but IP is a niche business. Having a patent and having this market IP premium market means you can live life comfortably as an entrepreneur. So that is why innovation is required for new entrepreneurs. Because you cannot compete against the muscles, big brands like Adani and all those. So they launched this stock, Adani Wilmar, at 200 something price. And during the launch day, it did not go up much. But afterwards, it all of a sudden started going up. Few days it got upper circuit limit, And then now today, I think it is, I think 6 months, less than 6 months, it is more than 700. It also cost 800. So 200 to 700, it's more than tripled in a short time. So suppose you have maybe 50,000 savings from your pocket. 1,50,000 or something like this. So it would triple, in a short time. So you imagine, you have 1,50,000 now. He is having so many shares of the company. He listed only few percent, in the open market. So, so that is the open market validation of that, not the real value. So similar for Jeff Bezos and other people, who are on the top. Elon Musk. So now somebody said Ratan Tata. Yes, he is actually. He is also my, somebody entrepreneurship, embodiment of entrepreneurship is there. Is Ratan Tata. See, you should not sway your principles as well. You can sway your product. You have a product, your idea. You can modify it, but the principles, your values, you should not adjust as per the market, because market will adjust to your value. If you stand, and they will appreciate. Now, I see a lot of consumers, they were Maruti loyal customers. Some of my friends, they used to buy Maruti because the value is given in Maruti. They switched to Tata because of the philanthropic work they is doing, because they believe in Tata. Now, if you go to market, and the brand value of Tata, if any new product comes and it is by Tata, they came up with some ready-made food items, right, pasta and these things, right? So they come, to trust that. The trust will come, Tata Salt, anything, So that is the value of brand. They expand their business, already brand value is not there. So that is the ideal entrepreneur, who does not adjust with the values of the company. Okay, yeah, that is my opinion. Everybody has its opinion, you know. So I believe so. There's a he also if I don't know if you all know there's an Auto Best European award. He was a recipient of the Auto Best award. 2018 or 19 he got that award. So only Indian we were restored with that award. You know, he purchased this two sailing companies of Jaguar and Land Rover. I think in 2008, right around that time. Yes, he purchased. You know, there is also a story. You know, recently when he purchased it, you know, that time. What's his name? One of the business he had tweeted, you know, that this is the revenge story completed. Because what happened, you know, Indica, Tata Indica, you remember?
Yes,
Okay. So Tata Indica, when you were maybe small kids, you know, that time, Tata Indica was the most popular car, taxis mostly. And it was the first completely indigenously made car in India. Everything from engine to everything, you know, was made, design, everything was India. And when it did not work, you know, Tata Indica, before its success, you know, it did not work. That time, uh, Ratan Tata, he went to Portland, US Portland, and he wanted to sell it. You know, he buy it because this turning into a long business. But you know, they said that, see, you don't know about this market. We believe in why did you enter into this market? You know, you don't know to business like that. You know, came back to India and he revived that Tata Indica. He turned around that Tata Indica. You know, that now today, in 2008, you know, he purchased Land Rover and Jaguar of course. He purchased that. You know, old. Yeah, wanted to sell. They were not making profit. You know. And then everybody was asking, saying, why you want to purchase this land, right? Land Rover Jaguar, you know, it has lost market, everything. And he paid, I think, billions of dollars. You know, he paid more than, I think, $2 billion he paid for that deal. And all his board, you know, Tata Motors, they were against it. But he purchased that, and in 2018, he got Auto Best Award. I think consecutive years, you know, Jaguar has been the best car that Auto Best event also, and he made it into a successful business. Recently, what he did, you know, Air India, who started it? Tata, yes. Yes. So then the government took it over. Then it was everybody knows story. Loans over 50,000 crores. Loans over 50,000 crores on Air India. All PSU banks have given that loan. If Air India shuts down, some of the PSU banks will also shut down. Such is the amount of loan by PSU banks given to Air India. The interest of Air India, of the loans, you know, there is so many crores, and every year they have to pay. Plus, the operating expenses of Air India were more than the revenue earned by them. So there is no way they can make profit and recover it. There is no way they can operating expenses they require, you know, to operate that airline. Total revenue earned is less than the operating expenses. There is no question of profit. Total revenue earned means it is total revenue. You have to pay salaries, fuel, everything, and then you will have a profit. But the operating expenses, you know, to keep it running, you know, for another year, that operating expenses is more than the revenue earned. So there is no question of profit, you know, like that. But he purchased that. Yeah. And in that also, what government did, you know, never did. It's an option, you know, in that also. Government only sold the loss airline. The passenger, the courier, which is doing the courier operations, you know, that it did not sell. So only the loss-making part is sold to Tata. Now we'll see what happens when he is able to turn around. Initially, he started Air India, you know, and it became a prestigious airline. And I think now he is in Singapore. There is Star is there, already owned by Tata. So that is how you turn, you know. See, it's not about the product or the thing. It's about, the offering, how you make the offering. That is also very important. So, what I now will come to my part, MSME department where I work. So, why, all this MSME, you must be hearing it, recently, from since the past 3-4 years, you must be hearing this word, MSME. Right? Before that, MSME, what is MSME? Full form, what is the full form of MSME? Yes, correct. Ministry of Micro, Small, Medium Enterprise. Everybody knew that? No, right? So, we'll see. Everybody has to admit that she is a bit, more knowledgeable in your class. MSME is Micro, Small, Medium Enterprise. So, I am working under the Ministry of MSME. So, why government is focusing on that sector? Now, in your school days, you must have had this social studies, economics, you must have studied agriculture is the backbone of Indian economy, contributing to how much percent of GDP? 60%? How much? So it is more than, just Google it and tell me exactly. Which sector contributes to Indian GDP? What?
60%.
No, not 60%. Confirm from Google. No. Google also when you search, it will give you result. The result you have to authenticate the source. Normally we take must be Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. They are figures.
15 to 20%.
15 to 20% cannot be.
20%.
20% is also not. It is the first major contributor to Indian economy is agriculture. Agriculture exports, we have a lot of agriculture exports. Basmati rice, wheat, dals, and mangoes, bananas. We have a lot of agriculture exports, so that is the primary export. Second major contributor to GDP is MSME. MSME is
19.9%.
19.9%.
From the government.
1920. 2019.
Gross value added. I'll give you this figure. My friend is working in mosque. I'll get the latest figure from. So first major contributor is agriculture. Second major contributor is MSME. So that is why government is promoting MSME. MSME are a cluster of businesses, small businesses. There is a legal definition under MSME Act, what are MSMEs. And why government is focusing to boost its GDP because the Modi government, they have a target to become $1 trillion economy, $5 trillion economy. What is the current GDP? 3 trillion, approximately $3 trillion. So, who are the two other major GDPs before us? Two other GDPs, China and US. So, what is Chinese GDP? And US? Yes. So like that. So India wants to touch 5 trillion economy. So the target was actually 25. Now they have revised it. So if they boost agriculture, there is a restriction. After that you cannot grow it. But MSME, if you empower MSME, you can boost the GDP also. That is the targeting that GDP. Now besides that, they are contributing 45% of the total manufacturing output. So besides MSME, there are large players also, large corporates, big industries also in India. So these covers the small industry. So So they are contributing about 40% to the total exports of the country and manufacturing more than 8,000 products. And they are also creating employment for about 111 million. More than 6 crore MSME units are there across the country. This is the brief highlight. So what is MSME? So what is micro, what is small, what is medium? So as per the definition, the latest definition revised in 2020 includes the notification came out, Biotex notification 2111. So 26 June that notification came out 2020. So before that, there were two types of MSME, manufacturing and services. They had different classification, but now there is a common classification for manufacturing and services. That is, investment in plant and machinery or equipment is not more than 1 crore. The investment is not more than 1 crore, and the turnover is not more than 5 crore. They become micro enterprise. And after micro will be small. So the investment is not more than 10 crore and turnover not more than 50 crore, then they become small enterprise. Finally, the medium one are those whose investment is not more than 50 crore and turnover more than 250 crore. So they become the medium. So if you take the whole MSME bracket, the investment should not be more than 50 crore. Investment in plant and machinery or equipment, not the entire investment, not including raw materials or other things. Only the plant and machinery and equipment. And turnover should be below 50 crore. So this is a domestic turnover, it does not include the export. So if you fall into this slab, you are MSME. Now consider you as an entrepreneur, you do a startup, you register your firm. You know the process of registration of company? Process of registration, legal registration of a company. So you are an entrepreneur, you want to start a company. There are legal forms of businesses which exist in India. So you have to do a registration under one of them to be a company. One is, you can also go unregistered, you can be a proprietor, sole proprietor. Sole proprietor means you are the business. In the eyes of law, or you are and the business is the same legal entity. Your PAN card is applicable to the business. The GST will be given on your PAN card. Your assets is your personal assets. Your house, everything is part of business. Whatever the business you take loan, it is for that financial terms, so that will be on you. So the liability is unlimited. That is proprietorship business. You don't need to register for it. That form of business you do. Other legal forms are registered form of business, like a private limited company. Registration is done with Ministry of Corporate Affairs. Ministry of Corporate Affairs. So normally you will go to a CA. He will do the registration. He will submit some forms and one memorandum of articles and association. He will have a ready-made format. You will make it for your company, you will do the registration, you will charge some 10,000 rupees. Directors you have to mention. So that takes company registration. CA will charge you. It can happen for free also if you know, if you can do it online, you can get a template of memorandum of articles and association and modify it. If you do yourself, you need a digital signature also. Class 2 at least. What is digital signature? Verifying your identity, doing your KYC. This digital signature, because once you are issued a digital signature, the authorized agency issuing that digital signature is doing your KYC. So anywhere else your company is having any transaction, you just put your digital signature in the USB, it is verified. So that is digital signature you need to get in company registration. They do it everything they do. You get it yourself for 1 year, it will cost you around 200-300 rupees. And forms you have to fill, you can do it at 500 rupees, you will do it yourself. Take the help of the CA, get for them to 10,000. So that is company registration. Private limited company, you have to specify the directors, what are the functions of the directors, it is there in the memorandum of articles and association. And company name, registered company name has to be unique, should not be taken. Proprietorship, it doesn't matter. You can have your name, you can put this maybe food company, so you can make Soham food company like that. You cannot add private limited, public limited, like that, but you can add some. Like SK Oils, there will be so many SK Oils. Sudhir Engineering House, there will be so many Sudhir Engineering House. Just like Sri Venkateshwara Hotel, there will be so many. Any name which is common, you will find everywhere. Baba is the famous. So it is one particular or everyone is having Baba?
Not the same.
Okay. Yes. So these are all proprietorship firms, proprietorship business. So it can have Baba, you can have. Babaji, it's a brand, Babaji has become a brand, you cannot have it. Babaji, Paradise, these have become a brand. It will constitute a brand infringement or passing off. I also tell you what is the difference between infringement and passing off. Passing off is, an unregistered IP. If you are violating, then it is passing off. But if it is a registered brand and you are violating, it constitutes infringement. In both cases, it's the same thing. Only the terminology is same. So Babaji may be passing off. Maybe it is not a registered. Paradise it's registered now, but some brands are well-known brands, but they are not registered. That doesn't mean you can use them. So there may be new Babaji or something like that, but not the main model.
So what will happen if we use an unregistered IP?
Unregistered IP, if you are using, it belongs to somebody else. You are infringing, you are passing off that.
Passing off. So what are the consequences?
Consequences, I tell you, consequences are the same. Only thing, he does not have a prima facie evidence, like a trademark registration certificate, to get immediate action initiated upon you. But in the court proceedings, you will have, they will be producing invoices, other things, to claim their usage, and you will have to pay the damages, everything you have to pay. I'll give you an example what happens when trademark violation you do. So in the, there was one of my other clients, he was started a manufactured package drinking water company, and he was using this Aqua Fine, he was using Aqua Fine brand. In the bottle, he was mentioning Aqua Fine. At the initial stage, he was able to market everything was there. He was able to give it to distributor. After a while, the business grew. Aquafina realized that they have become, they are having turnover, decent turnover, this brand. Immediately, we filed a notice. Once police, the prima facie evidence is the proof of the trademark certificate Aquafina is having. With that proof, immediately sealed the manufacturing facility of Aquafina. Immediately, after court order, it did not take much time. What immediately order is deceptively matching Aquafina and Aquafine. In trademark, even if it deceptively matching, then also it is a infringement. So if Nike has this rights involved, you do a reverse right, it's not your own trademark. You're copying that brand. Deceptively, you are misleading the consumer. So his molds for the packaging bottle, everything was burned. Everything. Plus the damages were paid. Profit he got, that has to be paid. At the ultimate, he lost some 5 to 10 lakhs. And then he started a new business. This time he started a meat shop. And he named this business as Moneymaker Gold. Moneymaker Gold. We need to have a registration for this because there are no brands in this category. For brands also, trademark also, there are 45 classifications are there, price classification. So you need to have the registration in your class only. But he registered this Moneymaker Gold also. He registered. After having that experience, he realized, trademark registration first I need to. Main purpose is this Moneymaker is not taken by any other butcher. So that should be clear. And then register it, and then it starts. Although that business also did succeed in COVID happened, and you have to close it. But that is entrepreneurship. You have to try. You keep trying. And some innovation is there. Innovation is not there, then you are just normal and it's a commodity market. You have to compete in the right place. So this is MSME definition. So when you start, you are also MSME. All of you will be MSME when you start. Because immediately your investment will not be more than 50 crore and turnover will not go to 50 crore. You will be MSME, you have to do this registration. Udyam registration certificate, free of cost. Have you heard about it? Udyam registration. Udyamregistration.gov.in. Just Google Udyam registration. Udyam registration. Result you want Udyam registration.gov.in. The first result will be there. Click on it. What is Udyam registration.gov.in?
Yes.
You can see this page, right? So you see three blocks are there. These are there for new entrepreneurs who are not registered yet as MSME. So you belong to this category. For new entrepreneurs who are not registered. Second one is existing enterprises. Earlier, there was UOF, something called as UOF for MSME certificate. So they have to migrate to this new Udyam registration. So for you, it will be the first one. So if you click on the first one, click on the first one. Get this page, right? Do you want to do this exercise? Put your Aadhaar number and name as per the Aadhaar. Just try it, you know what happens. Just see. If you remember your Aadhaar number or you have a soft copy of it? Not everyone. At home only. You have? At home you have? Now you have? You do it, go ahead. But do one thing, you come over here. You come over, you sit over there and you do it on that computer. Let's see what happens. How to register it? I want to show you, prove your point over there. Why you should take up entrepreneurship. At this point of your life, why you should, if you have any dream, anything, that you can do yourself something, some business, any small business, without an IP, you want to start, why you should start, and why during my time I should avoid it, and why you have the time now, because without any financial liability now, just coming out of college, you can try different things. Why? You can do it on the laptop. Yes. So I'll show you how simple this process is, registration. How simply you get this form. Earlier, there was small scale industries registration, which is a process. Process means it could take months, to get this certificate. You have to first apply, go to the office, apply. Typical government office, you step in, state government office. Go over there, you submit your form. To get the form, you will take few days. And then you submit the form. And after that, you wait. And then you wait. The officer will come to your industry. Somehow he will come to you, he will do inspection, he will raise points. This is not right, this is not right. In the form you mentioned this is there, this is there. Somehow you are able to convince him, and then he will issue you the small scale industry certificate, now called as MSME certificate. How difficult it was, and now how easy it is. Okay. I'll show you. Within a matter of 5 minutes, you will complete this registration, and the certificate will be in your hand. All you need to know is how to browse, how to enter, how to type, and some familiarity in filling online forms. This in itself is a business. This is free of cost if you directly go on the portal and do it. But a lot of industries, they are not able to do it by themselves. They don't know what is the right portal where, So if you Google it, some of you must have got ad results. MSME certificate, get MSME certificate in one day online, like that ad result will be there. You click on that, you have to pay 2,000 rupees. You enter your data, which you have to enter on the portal. You pay 2,000 rupees, and that website people will take your data, file over here, and then generate the certificate, and then email it to you. So this in itself has become a business. And a lot of agents, over here, they file it, cyber cafe, they file it, they charge some 500 rupees, 100 rupees for that. This is, if you want to earn money, you do this business, you get quick money. And some companies, online websites, they have made up to crores of turnover they have made in this, starting 2006 online, just by Google Ads. It took us a lot of efforts, for Google to remove those ads. I several myself at my capacity, I have report the ad, I have reported the ad for trademark infringement because their registration belongs to government, this word. So other people cannot use these keywords, So through this keyword, MSME certificate with their registration, Google should not return those ads because not everybody knows this is ad, this is the original website. So they fall into the trap and they hit. So anybody else having other card? You are having other card? Yes, please. With your other card. You remember the number? It should be as per the Aadhaar card. See what happens, OTP comes on your Aadhaar registered mobile number. So your Aadhaar card will be verified by OTP. Just like a card, bank card, or Jio SIM you are taking, they verify your Aadhaar either through OTP or through your thumb. Then so this is verified through OTP. That's no 6 digits. Yes, go ahead, do it. There is no problem. You can always cancel it. Say, if you file it and say again you want to cancel it, raise a cancellation request, it comes to me, I cancel it. So there is no comes to our office I think to one account. Type of operation you will choose proprietary. You can select anything based on your type of but I for this demonstration saying I'm selecting proprietary. And I will also show you over here. Already different types of loans. So you can see proprietary is there, I told you. Hindu undivided family is also one type of partnership is there obviously. It is also unregistered actually, but you can have a partnership agreement. There are more than one person. Cooperative is a private limited company, public limited company. These are registered forms of businesses with MCA, Ministry of Corporate Affairs. Then limited liability partnership LLP is also a registered form of company. Society trust, they are registered under different acts. So for a startup, it is important to have a incorporated form, means private limited company, public limited company, LLP, or 1% company. OPC. So these forms of business, you can enter your family. This registration is completely based on self-declaration. So see, once you put, you continue, press the continue button. See, now the form is opened up. You can tell this form. She, I have found signs as per the PAN card. No. That is automatically selected. You have not filed your ID yet. Then from your PAN card there. You put your mobile number, email ID. Then I'll show them the remaining part. So put some mobile number. Put some email ID. This is all self-declaration, completely self-declaration. You fill these details. Category. So there are certain additional benefits for SC/ST category. So that you can put if you belong to that category, you get additional subsidy. For women entrepreneurs, there is additional benefit. So name of the enterprise, you select the address of your plant or if you are operating from home, you put that. You put up your official address. It could be same as your company address. You select activity, whether you are manufacturing or doing services. Previously, trading was not covered under this. If you are merely buying a product and selling it, like a grocery store or kirana shop, it was not covered. Now that is also covered. So you select services and there is an option of trading. You have to select. The activity you have to select over here. What activity you are doing? For example, you are doing give me a activity, business activity. Any business activity? Sales of the sales you are doing every day. What kind of service? Which service? Okay, for education. Okay, some education institute for it. Search education. See, education, code number 85. Under that you have primary education, pre-primary, all these are there. Other primary education, general secondary education, technical education, or higher education, engineering. Select automatically it will be selected to add that activity. Now you are also providing another vocational courses. You can search that and you can add more activities over there. And you can keep on adding all the activities. Number of persons employed, you have to mention over there. Then, if you have 5 ideas, automatically this value will come. Otherwise, you have to certify this value. What is the write-down value of your plant and machinery? Then, if pollution control cost is not considered when evaluating the investment in plant and machinery, which I told you should not cost 50 crores. So that is not considered. You can mention that, and that investment is calculated turnover. If GST is there, it will be automatically calculated. These are optional. You can select no or yes over here. And this GST will be selected based on the district of your company registered now. Whatever district you have selected, the address automatically is selected. Submit and get final OTP you will get. Put the OTP, done. You will get a number for your company. Your registration for your company. That is your company's MSME certificate number. Print option is there. You print, you put the number, put your mobile number, verify the OTP, certificate is printed. Takes 5 to 10 minutes to do the registration. But if you go back 5 years, it was a process. So you understand how conducive the government has made the environment for startup. Not only for MSME, even for startup registration, you are doing it online. You get DPIT recognized certificate. All these things. And there is another thing in startup, wonderful thing, startups, they go to investment round, seed round, seed round for raising funds. Yes, they go to seed round, So investors invest, 10 crore, 20 crore, they will invest, But some of this investment will go as an agent tax to the government. There is a fair value of the startup, which is very less. The value is normally done by bank. So bank will evaluate based on the assets they are having, which may be 1 crore like that, But the actual potential of their IP or their market would be much higher, maybe 100 crore company. That is the actual value. So investment they will seek around that value. And if they are able to convince the VCs, VCs will invest with that value in mind. They will take equity and they will be appropriate price for it. But for government, they are over-investing, they are overpaying for that value. So there is an engine tax on that overpricing. Whatever extra they are paying, there is tax, the engine tax which government takes. But for startups who are recognized by DPIIT, there is no engine tax. So the entire money is going to the startup. That is also the tax exemption. But plus there are multiple incentives for MSME. So if you want to apply for a loan, there is a beautiful scheme called as PMEG, Prime Minister's Employment Generation Program. You can get loan up to 50 lakhs. Any of you, if you want to start any business, small business you want to start, manufacturing or service. So you go, just remember this keyword PMEG. This APIC. APIC is the total agency, Happy Village Industries Commission, for this scheme. It also comes under Ministry of Business. So this PMEG you go is there. So over here you go. Application for new unit. And you over here, you put this how to apply, you are also there. If you are not able to fill this form, but it is pretty simple information. Download projects from model project reports are also there. So very long list of project reports are there. So you can use it. Click on this apply button. Put your Aadhaar card, name as per Aadhaar, validate it, proceed, select agency out of this anyone. Still this one. This is for loan. As a new unit, if you want loan, up to 50 lakh, you you can apply over there. This form, the simple form, online form, you submit it. If you select DIC, District Industry Center, so it goes to the DIC, the different DICs. Medical is at Isra Electric and Sangareddy, and Rohan for Sangareddy, goes to Sangareddy. It goes to that, they process it. You have to select the financing bank. Options are there. Two financing banks you can select near to your locality. So it goes, the application goes to them. We evaluate the application. Then we call you for interview. After interview, we have this evaluation process. Mark based on that it is sanctioned, loan is sanctioned. In that, subsidy is also there. Up to 35% subsidy is there. 35% subsidy is there. So for a general category entrepreneur, yes. So what we need to contribute is known as the margin money. So for special category, like for women, SC, ST, OBC, physically handicapped, ex-servicemen, it is only 5%. For general category, it is 10% of the project cost. Yes, for sure. So that is your margin money. Remaining amount, some amount will be loan, some will be subsidy. So that is the thing in this PMA. No, categories. So firstly, basic subsidy is 15% for a general category applicant who is setting up a unit in a populated area, which is in an urban area, having population more than 20,000. So you get 15% subsidy. For a special applicant, again women, SC, ST, OBC, physically handicapped, ex-servicemen, special category, additional 10% subsidy is there, 25%. Then additional 10% is there, irrespective of the category of the entrepreneur. That is, if your unit is located in rural area with population less than 20%. In that case, you have to upload a certificate from Gram Panchayat that this population is there present. You go to them, they have a standard format. They will provide you. That is it. So I think the processing time is around 1 month, which will be required for internet. No, that is not the. So first of all, this is for a new company, a proposed company which you have in mind, a proposed business. Thing is, there is a evaluation criteria. So marking is done by how many number of employment this business is going to generate. So yes, so if you have more employment created, so there is 5 marks next year you can get. So more than I think 5 people are there, you get the next 3 marks. At least 5 people are there, so you get 5 marks. Plus background of the entrepreneur is also one of the evaluation criteria. If you are a graduate, some marks is given. You have experience of business, then additional marks is given. So all those things are there. So based on that, you get the marks. If you are above certain marks, then it is approved. So that is there. You have to also make a basic project report and upload over here. Interest is nominal, it will be the PSC bank interest, the lowest you can get. And plus, this is a collateral free loan. Collateral. Yes. So, for the sake of clarity for the students, collateral is when you take a loan. So first, bank, in case you don't repay your loan, then bank can seize the primary asset out of that loan. For example, you are buying a car, so the car will be hypothecated to the bank. Once you repay the entire all the EMIs, then the car is transferred to you. Then the hypothecation is removed. So that is the primary asset. If you default on your EMI, bank will seize your car and auction it and get the money recovered from that. Any excess money they recover, they will give it to you. But in case of businesses, the primary asset, depreciation is associated with that. They cannot recover the entire value. That is why they have a secondary security, which is called as collateral. They will take collateral, land or something to cover that their risk. In this, there is no collateral. The collateral is provided. Actually, collateral is there, but it's not for you, not for the applicant. It is provided by the CGTMs, Credit Guarantee Fund Trust for micro and small enterprises. So the bank takes collateral from. By default, it is collateral. Any bank you can apply. But better apply for PSU banks, government banks. Because what happens, because government stake is there in that, they are supposed to complete their target. So private banks, purely on the basis of, most of the time they will not clear. So besides that, this was there other scheme also. Stand Up India is there. Then seed capital funding is there. One of the seed capital funding scheme is under our scheme only. Business incubation scheme, like 50 lakh you have for developing the idea, but 1 crore is there for seed funding, further development into a business model. And then Startup India is having seed funding scheme. In that, 30 lakh is for developing the idea, prototype, proof of concept, everything. And another 50 lakh is there to commercialize that product. So seed funding is there. Then a lot of different schemes are there. Government is EST is having so many schemes. So those things are there. So there is no question of, especially for graduates, who have who are engineers, and good institutes. There should not be you need to be passionate about your ideas. And the passion also should be, not once, should be validated by the market. Lot of time, what I see, I was giving the example of Deepti Nathala, who went into Shark Tank. Shark Tank, so hackball, the brand is called as hackball. So you have to validate that your idea is accepted by the market, that validation is required. Sometimes you are one-sided only, you are thinking one-sided. So that is important, for business to be. Otherwise, you do investment, keep on doing investment, and it's not successful. So last 5 minutes for questions. Anybody is having any questions? Yes. Those who want to have idea, if they will have questions. No questions. So at least I hope you got something informative today. Yes, sir. At least about ideas. And one scheme for funding I told you, in case you want to start, is there. Anyways, our office is there, Enterprise Development Center is there, so you can approach us if you want to start business. And we have incubation cell. Over here also we have incubation cell, right? Most institutions, 14J1 is there. So over here you can get your idea developed. So thank you very much for listening to me patiently. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sir, for enlightening us on various schemes, rights, loans, and subsidies. The session was very informative and instructive, and it will surely help all of us. Now, I request our respected Dean Sir and Sharad Sir to honor our chief guest with a flowing moment. I request Sir to come on to the dais.
Thank you so much for listening. It's been it was like a good experience for me, interacting with the young minds, with your ideas, and especially Sushant Tiwari is developing into okay, bye.
Guys, now it's your lunch time. I request everybody to come back by 1:45.